I need to look down here too. Well, hey everybody, here we are in session 17, and it just occurred to me like we've scrolled down far enough on the page now that we can see the end of the term. So this is progress, both in terms of how little time we have left, and also there's really not that much stuff to cover for the rest of the course. So I hope everybody's feeling well over the hump by now. But there are still a couple of important things coming up. Next Wednesday, March 5th, the Project 5 is due. And next week, we start learning about Android. So, and then we've got our third, and also next Wednesday, March 5th, we've got our third and final mob programming activity. While this week is everybody's required to be here in person, which I realized I didn't put on here. Sorry, I guess. Hope no one thought that they could be remote, but they can be remote for the for next week. As a matter of fact, I will be remote also. So no need to come to class unless you want to see each other. If some of you would rather like mob all together in person, great. Everything will be here. You can use all the facilities here. Although I suppose you won't have my fine Ublecker brand HDMI cables. But that's kind of it. So that being said, projects 5 and 6 are the most complex projects in the course. That's why they are worth the most points. And we'll talk about Android stuff on Monday. Tonight, though, we will be doing mob programming, our second mob programming activity. But now I want to open up for Prime Minister's questions. Yes. Yes. Project 5, yep, you're going to start over with a new project. It won't be Maven. It'll be Gradle because it's Android. We'll learn all about that next week. Yeah, so next, our goal for Monday will be to get everybody off the ground working with Android Studio. So not only is it a new code base, it's a new tool. IntelliJ itself out of the box doesn't do Android very well. Instead, there's something called Android Studio, which is basically a version of IntelliJ that's been customized and augmented for developing Android applications. Everything ought to be very familiar to you, but there's a whole bunch of Android-specific stuff too. What else can I tell you? Yeah, Therese? Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. So, to repeat for anybody who's watching the recording, yes, Project 5 leverages a ton of code from Project 4. Technically, I don't think you need the text dumper and text parser, but you will need your XML dumper and XML parser. You will need your pretty printer, and of course, all the classes that those things depend on, like your flight and your airline. And one of the interesting things about the project is some of those classes are used on the server side, and some are just used on the client side, and some are used on both. So, for instance, your pretty printer is only used on the client side. Your servlet actually doesn't pretty print anything; it returns XML. The server, let's see, the servlet will use the XML dumper because it generates XML to send back to the client, and the client will use the XML parser to take that XML that was returned by the web request, the HTTP request, and turn that into an airline so it can be pretty printed, for instance. And then, of course, they're also adding searching capabilities, which you can implement however you want. But yes, really I guess in some respects, yeah, there's a little, there's some new code that you need to write and some new logic. But I think in many respects, yeah, is what you called out, where Project 5 is a lot of refactoring, is a lot of understanding what code is already there, evolving it to meet the needs of the application, and then wiring together a lot of existing pieces parts. So if you're finding that's your experience, that shouldn't be surprising. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't call out in that long list of classes that there are a couple of new things with the Project Five. There is the airline REST client, which exists on the client side to call the REST APIs. And sorry, you said something else. Well, of course, there's Project Five main. Then was there anything else new on this? Oh yeah, servlet. Yeah, the servlet, of course, is a new class. And for anybody who hadn't either wasn't here on Monday or hasn't watched that, I highly recommend that you do. We spent the entire class beginning to evolve the application, and so there was lots of refactoring. And my intent was to sort of give you all a head start by renaming things, by putting in the right terminology, so that it's easier for you to add things like support for the start and end time for the flights and adding query and things like that. I heard somebody on Slack. Was there a question that was being asked? I wonder. Nope, just individual Slack to me. Okay. Still getting used to the classes. Don't know how to use this thing. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, actually, yeah. And actually, to be clear about last class, I did that code for you. You are, if you want to like follow along on refactorings, fine, that's a cool thing. Or if you just want to look at the main branch, the head of my repository, copy and paste stuff into your code, make sure it all works, and start from there. That's absolutely fine too. Okay. Good. Projects due a week from tonight. Please start soon if you haven't, already in earnest. Ask a lot of questions. Because Project Five is more complex. There might be some things that are more challenging than before. And as always, don't let yourself get stuck or blocked too long. Speak up, and when you do, um, be sure to be appropriately or effectively descriptive in what you're saying. And so then, when if there's something that you observe, I recommend saying, hey, this is what I did, and I expected to see this, and I saw this instead. And include the appropriate screenshots of output and things like that. It'll help you. Help me understand what you mean. It'll help you get your questions answered faster. Okay. Anything else? Nope. Okay, so tonight, more mob programming. Tonight we have another, I guess I'll open it here. We have another kata. This one is, I think, the most challenging one yet, and I hope it's challenging in a fun way. So I'll post it here in chat. Oops. There we go. Okay. So Bank OCR, y'all know what OCR stands for? Optical character recognition. It's one of the things from the 90s, right? So you know, like what a check is, right? Right, a check, right? The way that's processed, it's not like someone looks at it, reads it, and then types the number. You have computers for this now. Same thing with when you put things in the mailbox. Do you know what a mailbox is? Okay, good. Right, and the letters will be scanned, and it puts out things like the zip code where the letter should go. And that's what inspired this program, or this kata. So the whole idea is that again you're working for a bank and it's scanning in things like faxes. Okay, so this is seeming really dated, but you should use that by now. And so the machine scans paper documents and is looking is looking to recognize numbers like this. And so then when you have it's like a digital clock. And so then you've got like underbars and pipes making up these numbers here. And this is like what's been printed out on the piece of paper, and it's scanned, and the machine scans it in and can recognize like all these bars and stuff like that. And then the job of your program is to then interpret this into a stream of numbers. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so this goes into a little bit more more detail in terms of these are always what, like 3 by 3, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, well, yeah, 1, 2, 3. So it's basically 3 by 3 grids for each character. However, and these are all account numbers, and so there are a total of 9 digits in each account. And so then the place to start, and probably the place that we'll end up spending most of the evening, is to write a program that can take this file, so you've got a bunch of text input like this, and parse it into actual account numbers. And that's probably where we'll start. If anyone just busts through that, yep, there are some more user stories, all sorts of things detecting making sure that checksums work out and everything like that. But let's just start out with user story number 1 tonight. So again, your program is meant to, this is a file, but if you just write unit tests, you just send it in a big string that that looks like that, and then have it return the number, I guess either as an integer or as a string with 9 characters in it that corresponds to what was read there. Any questions on that? Make sense overall? Yeah. So let's see here. Let's do I do 4 mobs? Let's do 5 mobs. I think that, yeah, so let's have a mob up here. I'll do the thing again where I share my screen. And let's dive into it. Let's spend the first, I don't know, well, let's make it 15 minutes from now, put 15 minutes on the clock. That'll be 5 minutes for figuring out who's in your mob, or self-organizing yourself, and then 10 minutes of 10 minutes of planning for this, and then we'll start mobbing. And I'll also create breakout rooms in Zoom if anybody wants to use that. Also feel free to plug in. Okay, awesome. But this was lively tonight. This was good. So I'd like to hear from each mob about their experiences, about what they observed, what was different tonight. Hey, everybody, I'm talking up here. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Hey, I'm Mob 2. Okay, it's time to report out and talk about your experiences. Same questions or same things as last time in terms of what was effective, what you liked, what are some things that maybe didn't go so well, and any ideas you have for next time. So we'll start with Mob 1, then go 1, 2, 3, 4. So Mob 1, what did you think about tonight? Yeah. So yeah, okay. Good. So good planning, and everybody can take a turn. Yep. Good. Nice. So you're feeling good about the progress that you made? Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. Okay, better than last time. Excellent. And so then, so what are some ideas for next time? We got one more time, and what are some of the things that you want to keep doing for next time? Oh yeah. Split and come back. Yeah, a little more parallelism in it. Nice. Any new? Okay, so it's a good new idea. Excellent. Anything else from the mob? Yeah, direct. Gotcha. Okay, right. So when there wasn't a sort of clear designated navigator to funnel stuff to the driver, it was kind of it was easy for the driver to get lost, or just turning in all directions. Nice. Cool. Thanks, Bob. Yeah.
One last thing is I also really like we start off doing test-based development where we design the test and then we program around solving that test.
Yeah.
I think that let us in good that kind of stuff.
Good. Yeah. Did TDD, and then that got you to a good start, and so then yeah, excellent. Oh, great learnings. Thanks for sharing. Mob 2 in the back. So, what were your experiences like tonight? How did it differ from last time? Yep.
In fact, we did finish everything, but I think goal last is fine, and a lot less expecting than that really. But yeah, I mean, if we had more time, I think it would be a much more program, but I'm happy with how it was.
Very good. And the experience. So it sounds like you were, feeling good about the output. What do you attribute that to? What was, what were you able to do this time to get a better result than last time?
Starting out strong because that's really how
Hmm.
what we do, what it is given direction to see the full form. We decided that okay, we're gonna process one character at once and then revise. And once we had feedback decisions, everyone would towards it from different angles. And another use of the mock media was that someone will work on say the unique formats for the characters. One of us just made a separate boundary model format, which is separate use, and then we have had that reflected in the work and then we say,
Ah, okay. Nice, nice, nice. Anybody else from Mob 2 have an observation they want to share?
I think it's just again, I think we planned pretty well, and I thought we planned, I think we made the initial test, and then we planned like a little bit more after that.
Ah, incremental planning. Yeah, yeah,
So
right.
like I think we had sort of a general idea, and then we built a test, and then our next step was, okay, wait, let's kind of finalize like an idea about how we're gonna actually solve it. And then from there, I sort of and then I kind of had
Good, just flowed from, yeah.
the pieces together, or some of us did, and we were kind of coming together and that way. I think the thing I like most about the mod is like one, yeah, we had somebody make a test while we were driving and we were working on, so we kind of were making a test ahead of what
Yeah,
we did
right,
while
yeah.
we were still building the main, and kind of sort of formatting the strings we were going to use.
Oh, wow. So lots of parallelism.
So that
So,
way
yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't
okay.
have to like
Huh.
pieces where you can still do that and be engaged with what the person's driving.
Yeah.
But you know, you're still doing something that's like you need this piece pretty badly, but here work on this a little bit and not necessarily something that's gonna not necessarily hinder or do anything to the main program that's happening
Yeah.
necessarily. So I think that was pretty
Nice.
I think that timeline that got easily cut off 15, 20 minutes. That's not pretty little thing. So
Yeah. Good. Good learning there. Okay. Mob 3, still working on it, still figuring it out, but it's time to put the pencils down. So, what were your experiences like tonight over there in Mob 3?
I think this one was I think almost everybody in the group had a different idea of what to do.
Oh, that's interesting. Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And I think when I started coding too, I was like trying to type more comments and write pseudocode of like this is what we think this should be happening here, rather than just like writing some code and start writing something. That's what I was trying to do. But I think we got up to we ended up being able to do all of it. We got a good ball rolling forward.
What was your experience with writing the pseudocode? Did it help? Did it hinder? Was it effective? Was it
It
ineffective?
helps me,
Yeah.
especially when someone else is like I'm typing and someone else is the navigator, I'm the driver.
Oh,
And
right. Yeah.
not really understanding what they want me to type, and I'm just like, okay, let's just write this thing, go translate first, and make sure we follow through and this like type of pseudocode English sentence, and then right below it also type what you want me to type.
Oh, nice. That's a good learning right there. Others in Mob 3, what was the experience like? Anything different from last time? Anything that you'll take forward or not want to do again next week? Stunned silence. No, no comment. That's cool. That's good. Awesome. Mob 4. Okay. What was your experience like tonight?
We did not plan well.
How did you know you didn't plan well? What were some of the signals of like, damn, our plan didn't serve us well?
After we wrote our first test, there was a big pause. And
Yeah.
sort of differing opinions of how to move forward. And or maybe I guess so then we were kind of changing things on the fly and not really sticking to an idea because it was kind of solving.
Or then for others, what are some ideas for next time then to, because if you look ahead, the next one's even more complex, I think. So then like, what are things you want to keep in mind? What notes to your future self do you want to write?
I think we should have stuck a little, like, we fell away from test-driven development.
Ah,
We only wrote like 1 or 2 tests.
okay, some more testing. Yeah.
Like we wrote our initial one and then we started getting carried away and just like writing.
Right, yeah, it's easy. Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nice, a little more discipline around TDD or like knowing when you're writing code that's not tested. Yeah, that might be a smell that, yeah, you're maybe a little off track. I'm guessing that you found out later, though. It's like, darn it, it didn't work after all when you finally turned around again. Yeah.
I think whiteboarding. Like,
Whiteboarding. Yeah.
because there were points where like you would get it and like maybe someone else would get it. I think maybe having a whiteboard around a picture of like, what this fucking is. But yeah, maybe do that more.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
We don't have like.
Nice. Okay, then. Excellent. Anything else from Mob 4? Pearls of wisdom to share. Awesome. Okay, then. Cool. Well, hey, I really appreciate everybody mobbing tonight. I hope it was a good experience. We got one more of these next week, next Wednesday. Again, feel free to be remote and actually watch Slack for some more plans for next week in terms of what we do. Until then, have a good weekend. Please break ground on Project 5. I'll be monitoring for your questions, and I will see you on Monday.